HALUF, Northern Spawn, Heavy Tank. What options do we have? Spawning on HALUF in the north with a heavy tank, in my opinion, there are not too many options. So in general, you should always go to this part of the map, because this is first of all where the fight is won on this map, but that's also the best position for you in your heavy tank, no matter what kind of heavy tank you are playing. So you can go here to this position and play hull down here. If you have a side scraping tank, you can play in this position and side scrape here to get shots on those enemy tanks. If you have a very fast heavy tank, you might also want to consider to push in this position. Here you can play hull down and fight against those tanks. However, there is the possibility that fast medium tanks and also fast heavy tanks will get crossfire on to this position once you are crossing. So I don't recommend this because it's a very aggressive gameplay. Plus, if the enemy team manages to win this portion of the map, so B2, then you are pretty much stuck in this position, whereas you can retreat from this position but also from this position. So that's my preferred gameplay, and so I don't recommend to push all the way up to the A1 position. Alright, so we will go to the northern portion of the map because, as I said, this is, in my opinion, the only correct gameplay of this map if you are a heavy tank. And now you would say that the E75 is maybe not the best hull down tank of all heavy tanks because it doesn't have the highest amount of the highest number of gun depression. But in my opinion, the gun depression is sufficient to go to the B2, B3 area, and I think that this area is very important to win the map. Now we could also go to A2 and conduct side scraping, but I like to go to where the object 430 and the standard B are pushing. So we will go there. Now it's very important to always go like this and not circumnavigate this rock here to the left, because then you will get under fire from the enemy tanks which are positioned at the enemy base. So instead we are going like this, and now here we are turning our turret towards the enemy, towards the position where the enemy can maybe come from. Maybe, you know, a snapshot. No, it doesn't hit. Well, that's intentionally. However, I don't want to stop here because I want to participate at the fight as soon as possible. And now I showed you this replay because it pretty much shows first of all that it is necessary to win this position in order to win the game, but then also that you can defend this position if the enemy team pushes. Now HALUF is a map just like Airfield where pushing too early is more often than not a mistake. So the team that pushes too early most often loses this position and therefore loses the fight. So in this particular case, the enemy team has played very aggressively and has pushed to the ditch and is now trying to make pressure. Now the good thing in this position is that we can get support of tank destroyers or sniper tanks if they would be in the B6 position, because then we could simply fall back and get a shot on and those tanks could get a shot on the enemy tanks approaching. Now the other thing you have to notice is you can see that our artillery is able to shoot onto those tanks because they've pushed forward, whereas the enemy artillery is not, because the team that advances can get shots by the enemy artillery, and so this is also a drawback for the advancing team. So this map is designed to play cautiously, just like on Airfield, and only push if the circumstances allow for a push. So in this case the enemy team pushed, and now they have quite some problems of winning this map, and they have lost quite some hit points. So we're still able to hold this flank and this position. And now let's see, maybe the Centurion wants to push. Maybe I can get a shot on his cupola. No, I cannot. So let's simply play cautiously and fall back, and meanwhile As you can see, the enemy artillery is unable to get a shot on us, which is nice. And here you go. We now get some help from the... okay, too bad. From the object 704. However, he's playing way too aggressively and he's pushing up despite the number of opponents we have in this position. And yeah, okay, that's about it. So he already gets deleted. And now we have to switch to... I think we have to switch to premium ammunition. Maybe we can get a shot on his cupola. Maybe a shot on his cupola. Will we bounce? Okay. So now as our team, as our medium tanks have managed to win the enemy base, we can fall back to even this position. Otherwise, those enemy tanks would be able to get shots on our back, but that's not the case. Very unfortunate that I don't get a shot on the Moisian. Yeah, but that's how you can fall back and defend this position. Okay, I think I have to load. I have to finally load premium ammunition, and even then, only the middle of the cupola is marked with green. So I will just shoot on the cheeks of the turret, on the side cheeks. So because that's an easy 10. Here you go. And the Moisian is taken out. Okay, yeah, so as you can see, our team has already won the game. So let's now turn around and kill the Centurion 7-1. Okay, he's already dead. Okay. Okay, so let's turn around once again. Of course, the E75 is not the most agile tank, of course. But yeah, so... on HALUF, you should always strive for winning this portion of the map, even with the medium tank, in my opinion, because let's say if you have 4 heavy tanks fighting against 4 heavy tanks, then you as a medium tank, you can make the difference on this flank. So yeah, we're taking out the M48 pattern, nice. And yeah, so in my opinion, you should always try to win this position, but you should not instantaneously go down into the ditch, but instead try to let the enemy make the mistakes and then just exploit it, and thereafter win the position and thus win the game. Okay, we can ram the E50M, and I think nice. Now we can ram him to death, and we will not get any more damage from the Badger. So yeah, so we let the enemy tanks make the mistakes, and in my opinion, this is how you win HALUF.